Do me a favor and close your eyes and imagine that I'm in Hawaii at the crack of dawn and a Subaru has just introduced a Dakar-worthy STI. And by Dakar, I don't mean the city in Senegal, but the famous race. Well, you don't have to imagine because here it is. The Subaru XV Crosstrek coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. So obviously this XV Crosstrek isn't an STI, but it is the new Impreza that's been lifted 3 inches to 8.7, making it off-road worthy, which means, you got it, we're gonna take it off-road. If this looks familiar, it's because I'm on the island of Oahu, and right here on this ranch is where they shot some of the scenes from Jurassic Park. And if this looks familiar, under the hood, it's because it's the same flat 4 that's in the Impreza, cranking out 148 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque, which means it's not the fastest car in the segment, but it is the most fuel efficient, getting 27 miles in the city and 36 on the highway with the optional CVT. Subaru has yet to release pricing, but look for the base model to start in the low 20s, which means this car will be just a tad more expensive than a Forester. 0 to 60. Keep in mind this is real world conditions, which means on Oahu I can't find a road to do it on, so we're on a closed course on a dirt road with me in the car. Paddle shifter, CVT at sea level. Let's see how fast it goes. Got the solo DL set up. Here we go. Car is floored. I hope I can make it to 60. Oh, it's gonna be close. I ran out of road, but I made it. 10.25. Real world conditions, guys. 10.25. I bet you can go faster on the road. I bet you can go faster. The Crosstrek on the smaller side will compete with cars like the Suzuki SX4 and the Nissan Juke. On the larger side, the CX-5, the CR-V, and maybe even the RAV4. Perhaps it might even compete with Subaru's very own Forester, but keep in mind that it's 4 inches shorter, which means that with the seats down, you get about 11 cubic feet of less room in the Crosstrek than you do in the Forester. Yeah, it's smaller than a Forester, but you know what? It's surprisingly roomy. This is where I drive, and look, plenty of room for my legs, and even my head. So, is it real or is it a Hollywood set? That is a Hollywood set. The question is this more than just an Impreza that's been lifted with a bunch of cladding stuck onto it? XV Crosstrek is good off-road. It has Subaru's symmetric all-wheel drive, it has plenty of ground clearance, and it's got that kind of built out of one piece of steel feel to it that you want in an off-roader. So yeah, it's not going to tackle Mount Everest, but for these kinds of roads, it does just fine. Yep, there are some issues that we need to talk about. The interior is a sea of black plastic. The road feel, well, that's best described as commuter worthy. And if you're going to get this, and I can't believe I'm about to say it, get the CVT because the stick shift is rubbery with long throws, and on the road it really highlights the car's lack of substantial power. So after all that off-roading, you must be wondering what it's like to drive the XV Crosstrek on the road. Well, that suspension is well dampened. The steering on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of communication is probably a 6. And the chassis feels like it needs more engine, or in other words, the way Nathan would say it, cojones. Did I do that right? Nah, he's better at it than I am. So on the TFL scale of buy it, rent it, lease it, or forget it, I'm gonna have to give the new Subaru Crosstrek I don't know, because I've only spent a few hours with the car. So that means you're gonna have to come back next time when we have the car for a longer period to get our official rating. As always, this is Roman from Hawaii, reporting for the Fast Lane Car. See you next time. the wild, the natural Subaru photographer is seen here catching the XV in action with the sun in the right location and the waves topping at the perfect height.